This may have been the first time my anger had blown my sense of reason completely out of my mind. Back when Xian and the others were killed, I felt a mixture of regret and anger. Self-hatred riddled my mind. But then hope sprang up again, and that let me attain a much calmer state. Thanks to that, I was able to maintain my composure while still acting out in a fury-driven rage. But this time was different. I felt a pain that tore at my soul, the possibility of losing Veldora completely devastating any sense of rationality. The odds. They don't matter. The enemy must be crushed. That's all there is to it. What now, Sir Rimuru? It seems to me that we've been sequestered in some kind of special space. Would you like to try forcing our way out? I didn't need Benimaru to tell me that we were trapped. As long as the enemy's objective was to capture Veldora, it was only natural that they'd take steps to prevent us from interfering. We were the ones stupid enough to fall into the trap without realizing it. Apology. I am sorry. Raphael, oddly enough, seemed pretty shaken. Maybe it couldn't believe that it had been taken advantage of like that, but either way, it was lacking its usual composure. I know it's supposed to be a mere skill, but it's so human sometimes that it makes me smile a little. But I wasn't in any mood for that now. My sole emotion in that moment was anger. So I told Raphael to stop apologizing and find a way out of this mess. It replied that it had a gauge on our location, and the analyze and assess process would be completed soon. Capable as always, I see. We're good, alright. We're getting out of here now, but what we're after is the ringleaders. Okay. So listen, Veldora's fallen into the hands of Veldora. I'm gonna spatial transport over to him. It's gonna be a fight, so you guys need to prepare for that, okay? I was swallowing my anger. Didn't want to take it out on my friends, after all. That needed to be reserved for my enemies. They nodded back as I added one more order to the list. So now that we don't have access to Veldora's supply of magic power, we won't be able to ask Grammars for very much. That means the city we kept in the labyrinth is gonna get brought back up to the surface soon, so I need all of you to focus on defending it. Yeah, that was a matter of time. I couldn't imagine how much of a burden Grammars was going through. We needed to get back fast. I understand, Sir Rimuru, but what about you? I'm taking Veldora back. That was job one for me. The rest, I told them I would leave in their capable hands and they understood without further comment. Well, wait a minute. Ain't you guys forgetting the most important thing? How the heck are we gonna get out of here? Just when I was beginning to wonder why he was so quiet, Lapis suddenly started complaining again. But I had a simple answer for him. We'll just smash our way out. Bah, but that's crazy. I've heard a lot about this place. They call it the Phantom Fortress. It's in a whole other dimension, and you can bet it ain't gonna be easy to escape. It's where they banish anyone who causes trouble for him, they say. And that's... I was glad he had so much knowledge about this, but I didn't have time for him right that minute. Report. Preparations completed. Right. Okay, let's get going. Lapis, I'm springing you out of here too, so once I do, you're free to go do whatever, okay? Huh. Wait, listen to me. Lapis was about to say something. I didn't care. I wanted to rescue Veldora ASAP and eliminate my enemies. And so, continuing to let my anger drive me, I triggered the spatial transport. And reappeared exactly where I planned to. There was no hesitation at all. It was an unthinkable thing for me to do in normal times. I still didn't care. Before me, I could see two true dragons and behind them, an airship. I was right in front of the enemy. All that remained was to kick some ass. But now Raphael was warning me incessantly about the danger. It was terribly annoying. I guess it had a gauge of the enemy's strength, but from my point of view, it was nothing but an obstacle. If I decided to do something, I had no choice but to do it. I wasn't about to start fretting now. Do something. I ordered, shutting Raphael up. Acknowledge. Summoning a demon is recommended as the best course of action. Not a bad idea. If you're low on firepower, just add some more. And let's not end there, either. In fact, let's finish evolving Tensura and the gang right here and now. I've been putting it off for a while, but we need everything we can tap right now. And then, we can crush our enemies once and for all. Now Velgrynd noticed us. Her eyes widened in surprise. What was it called again? The Phantom Fortress. I guess she really believed they had us all locked up in that thing. Thanks to Raphael's calculations, it wasn't even a problem. I'm connected to my friends through soul corridors, so if I trace those connections back to their origins, I can easily determine my exact location. Once I had that, spatial transport was available to me even in other dimensions. Benimaru and the rest were on high alert, trying to protect both me and the capital of Rimuru, which had reappeared far behind us. They really didn't have to worry. I was doing what I had to do. Tensura. Ultima. Career. Can you move? Sir Rimuru. Yes, of course. Not a problem. How can I say no to a request from my master? All three replied in different ways. Whatever injuries they sustained weren't keeping them down. That was a relief. So, without further hesitation, it was time to make our first move in the liberation of Veldora. I would have adopted Raphael's suggestion and summoned the demons here. But then I got interrupted. Kondo was the first to move, presumably deciding that further inaction would be dangerous. I'd normally be well outside the range of his handgun, but he paid that no mind as he fired. A bullet raced toward me, going dozens of times the speed of sound. My thoughts, accelerated a million times faster than normal, quickly grasped the nature of this attack. I reminded Raphael of its obligation to defend me, and it responded with a confident-sounding acknowledged. Absolute defense, one of the skills Uriel gave me, would have no problem neutralizing this threat. Compared to the attack on Veldora, this was nothing at all. Report. Barrier breaking attack detected. Successfully neutralized. Additional spirit and magic force destroying attack detected. Neutralized. Following an analyze and assess round on these attacks, they were found to involve the ultimate skill Sandalphon, Lord of Judgment. Commencing countermeasures. I let Raphael do his thing as I glanced at Kondo, Damrata, and the others. I'd deal with them later. Whatever they attacked Veldora with was a threat, but Kondo didn't just use it on me, and I'm sure there was a reason for it. Maybe he couldn't use it, for all I know. As for this attack, going at near the speed of light, it'd be impossible to evade if I was too close to it, but from this far, it was possible enough to deal with it in time, unless I got caught off guard. Despite that, there was no sign of Kondo moving from his location. Maybe he was protecting Veldora, but if so, I figured he could be ignored for now. So I finally said it. Come to me, demons. Call demon. Create summon gate. A huge magic circle appeared in the sky. Floating in the middle of it was a massive, ominous-looking gate. Transcending space and time, it summoned the demons connected to me. The first to respond to my call were Tensura and the other demonesses. They were soon followed by my 2 demon peers and 4 archdemons, along with the 600 rank and file demons who served them. The majority of the Black Corps was now before me. Kahahaha. Sir Rimuru, I have sent my legion to defend the city. Nice job, Diablo. He knows exactly what I want without me having to say a word. Venom was busy guarding Masayuki, but everyone else without previous assignments was here. Benimaru also retook command after leaving it with Moss, issuing orders to all his troops. I didn't have to say a word, and they were fully prepared to support me. Right. Let's wrap up this ritual quick before someone else interrupts me. As soon as I landed on the ground, the demons knelt before me. Tensura and her friends, standing up front, were looking pretty sorrowful. Maybe they thought they failed to follow my orders. We are so sorry. They apologized as soon as they saw my face. No, there's really nothing to apologize for. You would have kept Velgrynd occupied, but I didn't know she was gonna cheat with that parallel existence thing. That's on me. I mean, if you don't know about that, there's no way to deal with it. You can't form coherent strategies if you try to factor in every fantasy ability your opponent might have. There was no helping it this time. Besides, Tensura and company helped a lot. Their work wasn't in vain at all. I wanted to express my gratitude more, but that could wait. Instead I issued a stern order to the demons. Listen, I'm going to give you a bunch of power right now, but you have to promise me that none of you will go to sleep. If Diablo can put up with on-the-spot evolution, all of you can too. Even I thought that was a pretty crazy thing to say. I'm not one to demand things I know I'm wholly incapable of. Here I was, this slime who couldn't stay awake for his own harvest festival evolution, and I was asking my demons to keep their eyes open for me. I suspected this made me look like a hypocritical boss, but now was no time for those thoughts. If you can't keep up with me, you're gonna be left behind. The 3 demonesses, perhaps reading my intentions, greeted my words with sneaky smiles. Can you do that for me? Of course I can. Absolutely. As you wish, my lord. All 3 of them looked confident enough. So without further ado, I granted souls to each of them. Failure wasn't something I gave a moment's thought to. If Tensura and her friends went out of control, well, we could use that as a diversion, at least. I had my priorities straight. I wouldn't be reshuffling them now. So, as they began evolving, I spoke to the demons. You can rampage all you want for me, alright. I don't care how much death and destruction you deal. But I will not accept any of you dying, and I will not accept letting our foes stand in my way. Until I release Veldora, you will serve as my shield to hold them back. So I told them to sacrifice themselves, but don't die, either. I know it's selfish, but that's who I am. What about Sir Veldora's sister? Diablo asked. I knew the answer to that one. She's not a problem. Mess with me, and that makes you my enemy. I wouldn't hesitate to consume her. Diablo smiled happily at this. The others joined him, Benimaru with a wry grin, Zoe with a cold one, Xian beaming from ear to ear as she began a pre-battle stretch. They were all dependable friends to me. Allow us to work out the other distractions, then. I nodded at Benimaru's words. Great. Now get out there and kill all our enemies. As you wish. Great. Now I could concentrate on Veldora without any regrets. I turned my attention to him. While I was getting ready, it looked like Velgrynd had been preparing to engage me. She'd taken some magic heals from Veldora, and by the looks of it, she was fully recovered. That healing skill is the real key to her, isn't it? She recovered in such a short period of time because of all the magic heals Veldora had stored up. But now Veldora was hostile toward me. Without a doubt, he had become Emperor Ludora's puppet. Seemed like Velgrynd wanted to go at me too, so I guess I had two true dragons to deal with. It was gonna be tough, but I had to do it. As I told Diablo, if Velgrynd was going to be our enemy, we had to beat her. Hang on, Veldora. I'll get you out of there right away. With those words, I spread my wings and took flight.